Hello everyone, my name is Ash and welcome to The Last Court. So if you don't know, I definitely suggest my introduction video, which basically gives you a gist of what The Last Court is, what it does, and what it means to you. That sounded really cool when I said it. Anyway, so I also suggest The Huntress as your first, the video to watch before this one. As The Huntress, I go into basically the details of where the different specs, where the different skills, and also just basically getting the gist of where the things that you need to micromanage as a person, as a ruler, as the Marquis of Siralt, and also what you need to manage as far as the skills and all that, the dignity, freedom, prosperity, and peril and twilight and rumors of revolution that involve Siralt as a whole. But for now, we're going to be choosing the Scholar. Now, you can choose an Orlesian noble name of anything that you choose, and then basically all you have to do is create a character. And then it will take you into who you will lead as the Marquis of Siralt. Obviously, I'm going to choose a Scholar. He's basically centered on cunning and, if I remember correctly, yes, cunning and rulership. So he's a little bit better than the war hunter, the huntress. A lot better, especially like the way that I kind of actually view it is that the huntress is how, if I remember correctly, Ferdinand Pendergast basically is. He's a warrior, but he's not exactly suited for the throne. Whereas, well, actually, no, the Scholar is actually pretty good as far as things go when it comes to skill and scholarship. Now, obviously, these values on the left-hand side can decrease over time, but hopefully you're a good enough leader that you can balance it out and you can do your best. So I'm just going to choose more. Obviously, the Scholar has all these designated skill sets. And then you can look at here, you can go back down because I'm not going to go through it because you guys should really enjoy it for yourselves as far as getting a sense of what Siralt looks like in regards to the text. So you can choose between freedom, prosperity, and dignity. Now, because dignity is tied to the other character, the Huntress, we can choose either freedom or prosperity. Now, I chose dignity for the last time's one. Freedom, it's a little bit better in certain ways, but at the same time, it's not. I don't know. I find freedom is kind of a weird skill because with freedom, it pops up in very specific cards when you're dealing with the actions that you get to do in Siralt. I find it pops up a little bit less than normal, but that could be me. Let's just go with prosperity. I find prosperity, you need a lot of it in the beginning. So any boost is very generous. Generous words, right? And whenever it comes to the Scholar, I mentioned I use the Twilight as like my option for this one. You can do Rumors of Revolution, but I always find that that's a little bit strenuous because whenever you're dealing with your nation at the beginning, there's a lot of interactions with your court. So I tend to choose this one. It's a little bit better than getting knocked by your own people who want to behead you. Now, for the Seneschal, and any of your advisors, really, I choose it based off who you have as your Marquis. So I mentioned bold but not subtle. The plainspoken Seneschal is a lot better for the Huntress because it increases the daring do by 5, which makes it go from 50 to 55. Whereas for this one, I can raise cunning to 30. So I have a very kind Seneschal, or not kind, but more in the shadows. Now, if you were listening to the Huntress playthrough that I had, I went through the tutorial, some of the tutorial. I didn't want to spoil it all. But for this one, we're gonna just use a little bit of dignity in order to skip it and enjoy ourselves. You're too busy to trouble yourself with the delayed merchant. Undoubtedly, he's drunk at a roadside in somewhere. So you lost 5 dignity. It's not a huge hit, but obviously don't get used to doing that over and over and over again. So what happens is that the divine Justinia, she decides to come to Seralt, and you have to impress her in order to gain her favor. Now, what you would do is that you can do it 3 different ways. You can either, 1, impress the divine with Seralt's lavish hospitality. 2, you basically learn her secrets. Or 3, you gain her favor through the will of the heart. The way of the heart, sure. And what I do with this one is that trophies, you must gather 3 trophies. I usually leave that for the huntress. I usually choose secrets for the scholar. There we go. Now you have technical market days left 7, so you have this amount of time in order to actually go through. You have 20 actions at the top. Now, when it comes to that, I don't really worry about it. You'll be spending 20 actions, and you'll definitely will not reach the end of the market days. But for this, we need to gather 3 secrets. Now, you'll have a certain amount of stuff. You have 2 authority, you have 7 bags of royals. The bags of royals are basically money that you can throw at people in order to gain their favor for specific events, for specific actions. So we're going to just go through. Now, we're back to this little thing. And what happens is that you have to click the deck in order to have your own hand. Now, there are a couple of these that I can't actually click on yet because spoilers, but at the very least, and whenever I say spoilers, I mean there will be people that you know that will pop up in this game. How many? I can't tell you. How many, or what are they doing? I can't tell you. To be honest, you choose that for yourself. If that's any inclination of what you'll be able to see. So here are the initial preparations. You need to have a combined total of at least 50 secrets, viands, I can't say that word, viands, and trophies to achieve a good ending, or more to unlock better endings. So obviously you'll be able to experience a little bit more, get a sense of the world and what's going on. Obviously this will sync up to keep. Your actions will be recorded in time. And then we're gonna click. Now, I'm not gonna click the spoiler one. So here's an example of one of the people that you can actually interact with, that you can actually have as your counselor. Now, you can make the Baron your counselor, increasing your daring do, which is your skill at arms, athleticism, and endurance, and he will replace your current counselor. Now, obviously, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. It would require getting a lot of favors. And if you don't know, basically, you can gain favor by having specific skills and requirements. I personally don't like the Baron, so I don't want to actually click on him at all. So I will go perhaps not, and I'll switch back. Oh, also, if you are in this one, you haven't clicked any of the missions, you haven't done anything like that, and you go, oh god, I don't want to do this, I don't want to look at the goals, or I don't want to go through the, not the goals, but the mission, then you can click perhaps not, and then you don't waste another action. If you do click on one of them, then yes, you will spend an action, and you will not be able to click on any actions for a certain amount of time. So let's just do this real quick. I have observed strange behavior in South skies. So some of these are related to kind of like the omens that are in the sky and in the clouds and sort of different things. And the different environments and nature. Or you can choose different things that are just about, oh, here's a specific thing that you have to do, a specific person, and you need to use your wily ways in order to choose what is the best course of action. Now, because I'm familiar with both and I find the second one a little bit more entertaining, let's go with this one. He has traveled all the way from Valroyo, a scholar, a brilliant one, alas. The university considers his theorems too unorthodox. He seeks a home. I have no doubt he will illuminate any court wise enough to patron him. So, whenever you do these actions, there's always going to be either something that works against you in kind of a negative kind of fashion. Also, you'll have the description that is going to be right here that basically describes the state, the environment around you. It's kind of like an RPG feel, right? Because you can't actually see stuff. And so I clicked through. Now, what you would do is you have this traveling scholar. You need to choose what is going to happen with them. And I actually find this, if you are the other character, if you are the huntress, this is a lot harder. You only have one option, which is become his patron, because your skill is not high enough to do the other stuff. However, here, you have very specific options. You have him to stay for a couple days, so you can try to gain clues. You can increase Seralt's prosperity and rumors of revolution, which is not bad because we're already at 13. So there are no signs of sedition. Or you can increase Seralt's dignity by turning him away as your noble's advice. He is just a dude and we don't know who it is. And there could be compounding problems in the future regarding him being part of your court. So it's up to you what you want to do as far as things go. Let's just go with increasing prosperity and rumors of revolution. So there are whispers by the well whenever it comes to this. Now, this may compound in time, but at the very least, you have a lot of prosperity in order to throw around. So we will continue onward. Now, at the bottom here, there are pin cards. In the tutorial, you won't see this, but here, whenever we're dealing with the divine and having to meet her up... Oh, I can't click that. I can't click this because there are spoilers here. But there are some things that may come to pass in here. I won't click the story. This will give you like the different status of your land. I don't know why I delayed there. Also, you can use the third tab in order to see what resources you have. Secrets, bags of royals, authority, and a favor, which comes into play whenever you actually want to pick up and recruit people to be your lover, your accomplice, and your bodyguard. But anyway, totally digressed there. So you can choose gather resources, you can send for, you can go hunting, which I don't suggest if you're a scholar at all. You can prepare for the divine, which is... Oh, I'll go into it in a second. And then also the sealed chantry. So for here, you can prepare for the divine. You can spend your bags of royals in order to purchase viands, trophies, and secrets, which to impress the divine. But the only thing is that you need authority in order to do it. The more you do, the more authority you get, the more that you can spend. Also, you have to have bags of royals, which I only have here 7. But it's up to you. There are different options that you can do as far as things go, depending on what you have. And then also you can restart the game if you totally messed up, like I have multiple times. To be honest, I've played this over and over again, and I've reset because I've made very silly decisions, and you can't F5 and reload. You have to live with your decisions or restart completely. But I think that's what the challenge is. Now, one of the things also that is mentioned is that this branch costs 10 Dawn to play. If you want to be, let's say, if you want to not care, you can spend Dawn in order to advance time, and you don't have to worry about anything. So basically, if you are stuck, you don't have any more actions, you can click on it to get Dawn. Now this is, you can buy 4, 10, 22, 45, or 100, but let me say that you really don't have to. If you don't want. You can if you want. If you want to advance everything as it is. But you don't have to get it. But you can. But you don't have to. Because I find that the actions are actually pretty helpful whenever doing these things. But anyway, perhaps not. going back, you can go through here, you can do different things as long as you have the required skill sets. Obviously, it's the balancing of things. You need to gain a lot in order to do different things. Let's just get another one. Whenever you're doing this, whenever you keep on clicking, you will get special cards, special hands that will pop up either a special event, a special person that you may or may not know. And yeah, it's very helpful. Navia Lerno Victoria, as they say in Tevinter. Of course, there haven't been many victories lately, but if you read Iskir's account of the Valerian engagements, there are some really intricate strategies. Sorry, did you want to buy a pig? Her accent is Tevinter. What an interesting woman. So there are some very interesting people that pop up that you can have affiliated with, and you need to gather favor from these people in order to have them involved with you. So it's really helpful to have some of these, as if you gain advisors, you have a lot more you have a lot more options in order to go around, in order to enact certain things. And it's very helpful. And some of these advisors, like this one, she's Tevinter, yet she married a pig farmer. It's a very interesting sword. I kind of wish I had a little bit more dignity in order to do this, but yeah. But I would have to sacrifice authority, which is a huge challenge. Although it is 70%. But that 70% is a lot. Let's just do for fun. I will show you. You can gain some clues, but may lose dignity. Which most likely you will lose dignity, since it's a very chancy one. But let's just try it out anyway. Yep, I failed. But I do have more clues, even though I am at a total low 5 despicable. Your messenger returns swiftly. The pig's farmer's analysis is incisive, but your messenger was not as discreet as he should have been. You can hear the whispers. The Marquis looks for wisdom among swine. So now we're at despicable when it comes to dignity, and we will have to change that, otherwise lest we ruin ourselves to oblivion. But that's how you play with a scholar. I definitely suggest a scholar, as if I were to say which one is better, the huntress or the scholar. For me, because you are acting as a leader, I find the scholar a lot easier, but the huntress has a lot if you're trying to persuade the divine by going hunting, which is actually one of the things that you can do. If you want to make it really challenging, I suggest switching it up, making sure that you have different counselors, and also kind of for instance, I would put peril for the scholar, or I would make the signs a problem for the huntress, but it's up to you. I find this, for me, I like it to be going through, and I want to learn more about this, and I find it's really interesting in that aspect. But anyway, I tried my best to make sure I don't spoil it too much for you, because I think this is an experience that is better on its own. But if you don't know, the last court will be open before Dragon Age Inquisition releases. It should be in 2 weeks. So anyway, take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy it whenever it comes out officially. And if you have any questions on the last court, please put it in the comment section, and I'll help you out the best I can. Take care, everyone. Fenhana and Unsal.